The newly promoted Hunslet Hawks have already made their mark in the championship this season with a surprise win at the Widnes Vikings. Now the side from South Leeds face a Dewsbury Rams team looking for their first away win of the season here at the South Leeds Stadium. Well, Hunslet have already hit second in the table. They've dropped down after defeat last time out, but Lee topped the table. Then it's Batley Bulldogs off to a great start this season. Featherstone Rovers third, Sheffield Eagles fourth, Hunslet in fifth, newly promoted, Barrow Raiders in sixth place. Then it's Widnes, Dewsbury Rams in eighth, Toulouse, York City Knights and Halifax propping up the table at the moment. Well, Hunslet have made 6 changes for this game after a 38-12 defeat at Batley at the weekend, with player coach Paul March and Richard Chapman among those returning. Stuart Kane is at full-back. Then it's Danny Ratcliffe. Elliot Keir, the Crusaders player on loan here, is in the centres alongside Dave Clayton. Richie Barnett on the other wing. The halves are Danny Grimshaw and Paul March, the player coach. In the forwards, Rob Kelly, Luke Haig, James Houston, Steve Dooler, Tom Hockey, who was a fitness doubt but came through a fitness check yesterday, and David March, the twin brother of Paul, is the captain at loose forward. And on the bench, Richard Chapman returning, 35 years of age, still going strong. John Oakes, Joe Helm and Andrew Yates, the youngster who they signed from St Helens, on the bench, and the coach is Paul March. Now then, the Dewsbury Rams keep virtually the same team that performed so well in their last game, an impressive 35-6 home win over Toulouse about 10 days ago. They had a bye last weekend, they should be well rested. Ryan Glynn is at full-back, then it's Michael Wainwright, Elliot Cosgrove, Ben Bolger, who is dual registered with Harlequins, has made a big impact since joining the Rams, Austin Buchanan, Dominic Brambani, who captains the side, Tom Wandless. In the forwards, Anthony England, Luke Blake, Kyle Bibb, Rob Spicer, James Lockwood and Josh Tonks. And on the bench, Aidan Fowle, James Walker, Johnny Horton and Luke Menzies. The coach is Warren Jowett. First thing to say here at South Leeds Stadium as the Rams come out is that there is a gale force wind blowing right across the pitch. Right, in fact, into our commentary position, which is going to make life interesting. But it's also going to make life interesting out there on the pitch. And Dewsbury, as mentioned, they had a rest last weekend while everybody else was in action. Beat Toulouse emphatically last time out, so should be in confident mood. Warren Jowett's side, who won promotion in 2009 and survived last season. And their opponents, Hunslet Hawks, well, looking to bounce back after a disappointing performance last time out at Batley. Had been impressive previously, winning at Widnes 18-10 in round 2. Not so impressive here against the York City Knights in their opening game. Went from 26-4 ahead to clinging on to a 28 points all draw. So the March twins masterminding things, Paul and David, and hoping that they can spring another surprise here. But this is a very hard game to call. On paper, Barry, looks as though 2 very evenly matched sides.
I was watching both of the teams warming up, and Dominic Brambini, who has a fantastic kicking game, I saw him practicing the spiral bombs, putting them up. In this weather, you can expect Richie Barnett for the Hunslet Hawks to have a very difficult night indeed.
That's probably going to be the case as the Rams get us underway. Tim Roby is the referee, and judging by the warm-ups, it's going to be a very, very fired-up Dewsbury Rams side. They really were getting stuck into each other in the warm-up, so they'll be enthusiastic about getting stuck into this Hunslet Hawks side. But the Hawks in possession and already showing their adventurous side. And up to the 40-metre line with March, who gets the offload away to brother Paul, and they keep it alive. Here's Hockey. 4 tackles gone, and they're already up to that Dewsbury 30-metre line. A bold start from this Hunslet side. Rob Kelly is tackled, that's the 5th. plays the ball, and Paul March stabs a little grubber kick in, but that's comfortably dealt with by the Dewsbury Rams fullback Ryan Glynn, the former Thornhill amateur, back for his second spell at the Rams after a spell in Australia.
Well, that's not a bad set of 6 for Hunslet, going 96 metres, and you can see that Tommy Hockey already picking out young Tom Wandless on the left edge. He knows that he's going to be big, he's going to be powerful, he's going to be coming straight at Tom Wandless, and there's the mistake.
No, you lost the ball.
Dewsbury looking for the penalty, but referee Tim Roby deciding that Elliot Cosgrove had knocked that ball on.
Well, all the hard work that they've done with the ball to get up here, you can see they put the ball down. Was it one of the marks? Was it David?
Seconds behind.
Well, the referee missed a trick there. There was a foot in.
Well, if anyone knows any tricks in the game, it's these March brothers.
The wind gusting around.
Hold.
And Dewsbury in a great position here. Hunslet, after that Dewsbury mistake, right in front of those posts. Grimshaw, the ball's gone backwards, knock on, says the referee, though.
Unforced error, really. Dula coming back on the angle. A smart little drop-off play, and perhaps the angle of his run. If he'd have straightened up and come back where his half-back had put him through, there was a slight gap, but a knock-on, giving Dewsbury the ball, releasing the pressure.
Here's Ben Bolger in possession for Dewsbury Rams, as mentioned, dual registered with Harlequins, and normally a second row, that's where he was with the Quins, but Dewsbury giving him a shot in the centres, and he's been quite a revelation. Kyle Bibb now, massive experience, only 24 years of age, but he's played Super League, and Warren Jowett taking Bibb on board during the close season. So Dewsbury with first hold of the ball. That ball was touched, and it's the referee has wiped the tackle count clean. Tim Roby saying it's 6 to go for the Dewsbury Rams. There was a Hunslet hand in there, and there was there as well. That's a penalty.
Well, they just couldn't resist them putting the hand out, knocking the ball forward. Another set of 6 for Dewsbury, but then trying to make up for it. They knew that they'd made a mistake, and just too long. Paul March laying on. Is there a bobble from Bibb?
What about the knock-on?
I thought there was a bobble, yes.
As it is, it's a penalty to the Dewsbury Rams. It gives them an opportunity to test this Hunslet defence. Buchanan is tackled. As Luke Blake serves the ball up, just short. And Bolger it was, very close to the try line. Blake, the pass is Kyle Bibb, and Bibb is held up, says the referee.
Do you know, Stuart Kane, I've watched him on a number of occasions this year. Fantastic at fullback. Just watch where he puts his body position. Bibb's twisting, he's turning. That's a good defensive effort.
Bibb will play the ball. Here's Wandless. Wandless looking to take him on. Ducks under the first challenge and does well there.
Don't move forward.
Wandless plays the ball again. Big strong dive. This time it's Anthony England putting his shoulder to the wheel, but he's held up. That's the 5th tackle. Can Hunslet weather the storm here? Hand in there.
Back to one bell, I think.
Now then, who's going to emerge with the ball? Hunslet. Surely there was a knock-on there. There wasn't. There was a penalty, though, says the referee.
See, I think a Hunslet player has reached around the play of the ball and knocked that ball on.
That looked to be the case, Barry.
Yeah. Well, he's made a play. I think he's made a play. He's made a play for his hand. He's pulled the ball, and that's when the ball's gone backwards. I don't think it's come off the Hunslet player.
And the penalty, skidding across the turf. In fact, this is the incident.
No. He's grabbed the arm. He's grabbed the arm. It's not a knock-on.
It's this one here. It's history. It's Hunslet in possession. Here's James Houston, the Scottish international, signed from Featherstone after 11 years with the Rovers. Paul March now across the field, then offloads the ball, and that's come up for the Dewsbury Rams.
Well, that's a good second effort from Kyle Bibb. He never give up on that ball.
Bolger now. Bolger picks and goes.
Bill forced Hunslet into making that error, and that's just the little efforts in the game that you're looking for. The offload from Tommy Hockey, but Kyle Bibb had the energy to get there and get the ball back for Dewsbury.
Movement. Wait.
Just 5 minutes gone. Wandless. Here's Brambani now. Brambani Good pass for Lockwood coming in on the angle, but Lockwood is met by the Hunslet defence. 4 tackles gone. Dominic Brambani, then Wandless. Again, looking for Ben Bolger on the charge.
Wait. Go.
Luke Blake now. And then Wandless with the kick. It's well read, well dealt with.
It's an average kick, that, Bill, and not the best way to start or finish what was a superb set to 6. Great break.
It's Elliot Keir with the break that's taken him up to the 40, up to the halfway line, I should say. Now here's Richie Barnett. Keir, the Welsh international, slicing through the Dewsbury defence there. Dula is held, says referee Roby. 4 tackles gone. Here's James Houston now. That's the 5th. Now then, expect the kick. No, they're going to run it, and it's with Keir, but Keir loses his footing.
Elliot Keir receives that ball, and his support player is in front of him. Look at this break from Elliot Keir. Strength, speed, shows a good bit of composure as well. Runs into a couple of Dewsbury defenders. Very encouraging start for that player. One of a crop of young Welsh players making his way in the game, unable to break through in the Crusaders' first team.
So let off there for Dewsbury.
3. Move, Paul!
Thought maybe the kick would come. You'd think in these conditions that that kicking game would be something that the sides would exploit.
Well, they think there's a weakness on Dewsbury's left edge. That seems to be the way all the traffic's going, whether it be Tommy Hockey or whether it be Elliot Keir around the back. But Dewsbury just coming out with simple yardage plays, trying not to make a mistake, get to the kick. Here's the last tackle.
Wandless drilling that one low into the wind. Ratcliffe it is.
Well, that's a good defensive line as well from Dewsbury. A good kick, a good chase. They've got to control the likes of Richie Barnett.
Move, get square. Hold it, go. Mark is okay.
Barnett plays the ball off, goes Stuart Kane.
3. Move on to Hold.
Former Gateshead Thunder player Stuart Kane. He got 19 tries in 22 appearances for the Thunder in 2008.
Stand.
Hunslet just over the halfway line in there. Myrtle and Flame kit. The marches combining there. Now it's with Keir again, coming across the field, Keir, and losing his footing. I don't know what studs he's got on, but it's the second time he's gone down. Haven't had any rain today. It's just the wind that's the problem.
No, he's okay.
Little grubber kick from Grimshaw that's still kicked ahead, but too strong.
Was a strong kick. I'm not sure whether he was onside or not, but the enthusiasm for Hunslet to kick and chase, that's going to stand them in good stead. But Dewsbury's speed is very impressive in the opening 10 minutes.
2.
We've spoken about the conditions here. Rod Studd down on the sidelines, probably got a better idea of what it's like.
Yes, buffeted against the wind down here, Bill. It's blowing, as you said, directly towards you across the field, but really gusting. And the main stand on the opposite side from you does afford a little bit of protection on the 10 metres or so right by this touchline. So it's a little bit misleading if you're right by this touchline, but out in the middle there, it really is gusting about. And I'm very surprised that the kicks we've seen so far have been mainly grubbers. If they get it in the air, it's going to cause all sorts of trouble. That's more like it.
Ah, right on cue. And it has caused problems as well, and they're going to get another set of 6. So obviously, it's Rod Studd is having an input into the coaching scenario out there.
All they had to do was listen to Rod. Rod calls for it to go high. The kick goes high,
Let's go behind.
and they force a goal line dropout. Excellent kick from the Dewsbury Rams.
But on the other hand, that one gets some good distance on it. Now it's Anthony England, another player who had some experience at Gateshead Thunder. England. Michael Wainwright, probably the most experienced player in this Dewsbury Rams side at the moment. Lockwood with the charge, takes him up to the 10-metre line. Bibbs the dummy runner, Wandless coming back inside. And Tonks, is he over? He's short, says the referee.
On the 10.
But again, it's that man Stuart Kane who just gets underneath the Dewsbury player. Good footwork, he goes in between a couple of Hunslet players. But good positioning once again from the Hunslet fullback.
Release. Hold. Go.
Dewsbury. This time the kick does go to air. Barnett has patted it down. They could be in for the try. Is it Cosgrove? It's James Lockwood, the second row, who's got that ball down, and Barnett paying the price there. Didn't really challenge for that ball, it was patted down. And James Lockwood was there to pounce on the loose ball.
Well, Richie Barnett has a wealth of Super League experience. One of the most speediest players in this division, but one Achilles heel he does have is catching the high bombs. He'd have had to have been a very special player to catch that with the Dewsbury pressure. James Lockwood just had to hang behind the players who were batting him back, and he picks the ball up and gets the opening points for his side.
And as predicted, it was the kicking game that caused the problems. Dom Brambani has the kicking duties, the Dewsbury Rams captain, and that's unfortunate. Hits the upright. Tricky kicking conditions for a place kicker, but first points of the game go to the Rams and to James Lockwood.
Well, Brambani, every time he's in good field position, will be looking for this kick. You can just see the enthusiasm in Wainwright and Bolger. Just jump higher than Richie Barnett, tap that ball back, and James Lockwood goes in for the opening try for the Dewsbury Rams.
This is the first meeting between these two sides in 2 years. Last time was in Championship 1, and in fact Dewsbury did the double 2 years ago, home and away wins. And Hunslet's last win over Dewsbury was 4 years ago, and that was in the Northern Rail Cup. Newly promoted Hunslet already got one impressive scalp to their name this season, and that was a win at Widnes, but not so impressive last time out against Batley, hence the 6 changes that player coach Paul March has made.
What was that for?
Bibb juggled the ball. Scream from Bibb as he was taken high by Houston.
Well, they've done a good work coming out with trouble there. And you can see Carl Bibb just taking that touch high by Houston. But simple plays by this Dewsbury side, getting very good field position for the likes of Brambani to play off the back of.
Wandless, here's the try scorer Lockwood, hit that one at pace, but then was cut down. Wandless, England back to Wandless. Now's Brambani, great pace from Spicer onto that pass. Eventually he's held short of the try line. Luke Blake looks left, right, and then wins the penalty.
No way, get up. Hold him down. There's your mark.
Paul March penalised.
Doesn't agree, Bill, but I'm sure the energy and enthusiasm that Dewsbury put into the play the balls and running hard and strong on the ball is perhaps making Tim Roby just look and wonder whether Hunslet are trying to slow them down illegally. It's a great hit up from Spicer. We've seen some tremendous work. Kyle Bibb, Anthony England, the number 8 for Dewsbury, has run hard and strong and as often as he could. And it was Paul March who gave the penalty away.
Player coach, the culprit. Paul March just been granted a 3-month testimonial by the Rugby Football League. That begins on June the 5th. Dom Brambani hit the post last time. This one, gentle dink right between the posts and increases his side's lead to 6 points to 0. A few instructions to his teammates, but good start from Warren Jowett's side.
Well, it's perfect little midfield general, Dominic Brambani. They are earning the right to play Dewsbury because they're just taking the ball. The forwards are doing simple plays. Warren Jowett will be very, very happy with the opening 15 minutes from his side.
2009 Championship 1 Coach of the Year, Warren Jarrett, for his side's exploits when they went through the entire league campaign unbeaten. Won every one.
Well, that's been stripped.
And Hunslet have got it back.
Tommy Hockey got stuck right into that ball and ripped it out of the grasp.
Now then, can they conjure up a response here?
Move!
The Hawks.
Hold!
Was that a one-on-one, Tez?
Yep.
Grimshaw finds Stuart Kane, but Kane dealt with by Cosgrove and Lockwood. Houston now. Short pass from Houston to Dula. Dula going across the field, then tries to straighten up, and then loses the ball, and it's snaffled by Ryan Glynn.
Well, Dula just needed to play direct. He didn't need to play sideways. It's very easy when you're running across the park for a defender just to pick you up. Never really gave himself a chance or one of his teammates a chance then. Unfortunately, failed to complete the set of 6.
Was a loose carry though.
Get your hands out, Paul.
Loose carry, and one of the Dewsbury defenders knocked it out. Another good hit up from Spicer.
And the penalty, and Hunslet again, the culprits.
Just stay there.
Well, Rob Kelly, who's done a mountain of defence in the opening 15 minutes, that's his 17th tackle of the game. 17 tackles in 17 minutes. Just bit off a little bit too much.
Dad Andy will be not impressed by that. Former Dewsbury coach himself, Andy Kelly, now involved working for the Rugby Football League in the northeast of England.
You'll always win the play of the ball if you're willing to run harder than the opposition's willing to tackle you. That's exactly what Spicer's doing. He's creating a lot of havoc on that left edge for Dewsbury.
Bibb again arriving at speed onto that pass. Here's Lockwood. 2 tackles gone. Dewsbury threatening once more. Luke Blake.
Go. That's 2.
England. Brambani, and then long ball out wide, goes to ground, knock on, comes to nothing.
Just poor execution there. Nice little run around. A long ball. The pass was just slightly behind. And Warren Jowett knows that that's one of his plays. That will be in his game plan. They talked about that all week. They've been practicing it all week. Comes to game day, and it's a drop ball.
1. Move! Hold! Go.
So Hunslet have possession. They could have well been punished there. It was a really promising opportunity for the Dewsbury Rams, who lead by 6 points to 0 here.
Well, that was a worrying sign. Luke Hay got out from dummy half and he's looking for someone to come onto the ball, and there was no Hunslet player putting the hand up.
4. Move! Go, just stand up.
David March.
Surrender! 5. Stand!
Looking a little bit weary at the moment, Hunslet, after the start to this game. Paul March drills that kick downfield. The wind at his back, and it's Glynn who picks it up.
Well, that's a good kick to the corner and good defence from Hunslet. But the reason why they're tired, Bill, is because they made 42 more tackles than their opposites, Dewsbury.
And I've often wondered that, says, if you're a player coach, at what point does somebody marshal the subs? At what point does somebody make the decision, talk about tactical changes? Who's tired? I know Gary Lord, he's on the sideline for Hunslet.
Lockwood on the run for the Dewsbury Rams. There is the player coach, Paul March. A lot on his mind.
Go.
Brambani finding space to put the kick in, and it's a good one as well. Did well there, into the wind. Not a bad kick that from the Dewsbury Rams captain.
Well, this is where Dewsbury have based the game on. They know the strength of Brambani and his kicking game. They just want to keep turning this Hunslet side around. The enthusiasm in the chase, the commitment to work for each other in defence.
Oh, well done, hold. Go.
And again, it's going to be interesting for Hunslet to see how many players put their hands up to bring this ball forward. These are tough carries, Bill.
And it's noticeable when they're kicking from long, they're kicking to Dewsbury's left, away from Richie Barnett, so they can contain him. He's one of the best broken field runners as well going around.
Here's Andy Yates, a big young forward, Yates, who they brought in from St Helens Academy. That's a good kick, and Austin Buchanan is pretty laid back about that, watching it find touch, a good touch as well.
Been quiet so far, Austin Buchanan, another exciting player. Just bubbling about too much, and Austin just decides to let it fall off the island, and they start again with a new set of 6.
I'm trying to talk to you, mate. Heads in.
Now Hunslet will look to force the mistake.
1.
Buchanan getting involved from his wing.
Hold. Go.
Dewsbury's 2008 Player of the Year, Austin Buchanan.
2. Move. Wait for the go. Hold. Go.
Yates went looking for a big hit there, but didn't connect, which was probably good news for Luke Menzies.
4. Move.
4 tackles gone, just inside their own half. And here is Brambani. Brambani
5.
back on the inside.
Move. Go. Okay, go on.
And Brambani hoists that one. It gets a bit of height. And it's well taken by Stuart Kane. It's not easy, as already mentioned, this ball swirling around.
Well, it's swirling around, it's causing a lot of havoc, especially the high kicks. Looking to get to Kane, looking to get to Richie Barnett. But very intelligent player, Brambani.
Dominant!
The Dewsbury Rams captain, Don Brambani, has been around. Former Sheffield Eagle. He had a spell playing in Australia as well for the Hinterland Storm on the Gold Coast, and they forced the error. Hunslet coughing the ball up. It was Joe Helm, I think.
Well, they get the ball and they go really close to the touchline, and it's very, very easy to defend there. You can cram all your defenders in. You could see on that occasion Helm had nowhere to go. He was confronted by 3 Dewsbury defenders who just come up with a big dominant hit on him.
With the scrum, mate, with the scrum.
Hunslet Hawks' longest serving player. Not that difficult to achieve that feat, but given the turnover of players here at the club. But it's Dewsbury Rams in possession, and it's Ryan Glynn who's tackled. Wandless across the field, Spicer again, and really showing some strength and some pace as he hit that ball. Rob Spicer, the former Wakefield player. Blake fancies his chances, but he is held up again. How many times have they held him up? This time they go one better to the Hunslet Hawks. That's great defence. Blake going for a sniping try, ends up over the dead ball line. It'll be a tap on the 20.
That was fantastic goal line, dude. They picked him up. They was carrying him. They had to stop when they got to Ellen Road. They carried him that far. And Dewsbury double up their errors and give a penalty away. Dominic Brambani.
It's a 20-metre restart, mate. Hey, I don't write the rules.
Offside. There was a few to choose from, though. What about this for goal line defence? Pick him up, carry him over. Great work, excellent.
Back here. Work the 10s, lads, come on. Okay.
And just to compound things, the Dewsbury Rams concede a penalty.
Move!
And so Hunslet immediately are inside this the Dewsbury half.
Move!
And with Joe Helm celebrating his 27th birthday tomorrow and wins the penalty. Menzies penalised.
Well, you tend to find that when you make a mistake, you normally come up, you give a penalty away, and you try again to put it right, and Menzies giving that penalty away. And look at this now, just 20 yards from Dewsbury's line.
Back-to-back penalties could be costly.
1, move!
Yates.
Hold, go.
Now here's Helm. They've got 2 big bruises out there now in Yates and Helm off the bench of the Hunslet Hawks.
Go.
And this a great opportunity for Paul March's side. He's in possession now, drops the ball off to Tom Hockey.
3, move, Rob.
The Hunslet player down, Bill just got back in the line. I think it's England.
The ball with Grimshaw.
4, release. Hold.
And then Clayton is tackled just short of the try line. David March running across the field. That ball went forward. Just caught in 2 minds there.
Well, he was caught in 2 minds, David March, because he's running across the park. He's looking for someone to cut underneath him. He's looking for someone to hit a line outside. Unfortunately, just comes up with a poor pass.
Come forward.
There's the frustration.
Yeah, frustration for Hunslet, but a bit of disappointment. I'm just noticing the Dewsbury player out the back. He hasn't moved. I think it's England. Just maybe
one.
getting a bit of
Release.
attention to that knee. He's had
Hold.
a fantastic opening 25 minutes. There's a sad sight. He's worked hard tonight.
Wainwright, that's a good break from the Dewsbury Rams winger, though.
Hold. No, he needs to stand. Go. It's fine.
He plays the ball. The wind's still blustering around here, and here's James Walker on in place of England. Big prop forward. There is Anthony England, former Castleford junior, another player who had a bit of a time at Gateshead Thunder.
Move, David. Hold.
So concern for his coach, but he's sent on. Big James Walker in place.
Move.
That's the fifth tackle. Now then, will Bram Barney look to hoist this one again? He will. Another tester for the Hunslet defence. This time it's a tester for Ratcliffe. And the ball is shoveled dead in the end. Danny Ratcliffe got underneath it and probably made the best of a bad job there.
Well, again, it's just the kicking game from Bram Barney that's causing problems. But Paul March will be disappointed because they've been targeted in the middle of the park, and the big Dewsbury forwards are making far too many metres.
Am I having deja vu, Bill?
You are,
or have
because
lights gone out
guess
again?
what? The lights have gone out. I think they must be on the same meter.
The main stand facing the commentary box. That gives off the bulk of the light here at Hunslet.
It's pretty dark over here. Yeah, it's too dark over here.
Tim Roby has called on
Let's get the match commissioner.
his colleagues and is asking for the match commissioner now, so we're going to have a bit of a breather while they decide what they're going to do. This, of course, a council-run facility.
We got any info?
I did hear a suggestion that the Hunslet Hawks players have to pay to park when they come to training.
Do they have to pay to put the lights on as well, the
Obviously not
players?
paid, so they turn the lights off on them.
Well, this is a decision for the match officials, whether exactly what happens.
Boys, we'll go with it for now.
And Tim Roby, we're hearing, is saying we'll continue
There's nothing I can do.
as long as the players are happy.
Boys,
And
we'll have to go with it for
of
now.
course, the
See how we
clock's
go.
having gone forward, got a little bit
behind the
more
line,
brightness
ready?
in the sky here, and it's a nice open
We'll go with
stadium
it
as
for now.
well.
We'll go with it. We'll go with it. Yeah. We'll go with it now.
So we're going with the
we ready?
remaining floodlight
Boys.
towers here,
Just over 10.
while they work to see whether they can get those lights back on in the main stand. But Hull KR, now Hunslet.
One. Move, two.
So Dewsbury Rams in
Oh.
possession.
Go.
They lead by 6 points to 0 here.
Look at the commitment from every Dewsbury forward every time they get the ball.
Move.
They're making
Mark
very
is
big
looking, hold.
inroads
Go.
into Hunslet's line.
Bram Barney brings Elliot Cosgrove, the birthday boy, back on the ball. He's 20 years old today, Elliot Cosgrove, as he plays the ball there, hoping for a birthday try. Here's James Walker.
Release. You stand up. Go, that's 4.
Bram Barney shifts the ball on to Wandless. Wandless again across, and it's snapped up by Keir. Alert to that opportunity, the Welsh international, but this time he couldn't make the same sort of ground as he did last time.
Well, Elliot Keir in the opening 27 minutes has shown that he is Hunslet's #1 danger player.
Lost on impact.
Well, that is a poor carry. You've got to make sure when you're bringing the ball up, you're in full control. Here's the break by Keir.
Good work by Luke Blake to chase him down.
Fantastic awareness by the centre.
Let's try and go with it for now.
But again, that is just a loose carry.
Boys, I'm doing my best for you. I'm trying to keep going. Come forward, boys.
James Walker's challenge on Dula. Dula thinking that the ball had been knocked on.
I was going to say, if you look at the size of James Walker, you know you've got to clamp up to that ball. He's a giant of a man.
Well, not surprisingly, he played a lot of rugby union, James Walker, before coming back to the Rams. That ball's gone backwards. No, it hasn't. It's a knock-on, says the referee.
The referee had already called. He'd already called play. And as the ball came out, that's judged as a knock-on. And it's a Hunslet scrum. There's a hand in there from one of the March twins, or both of them.
So the Hawks in possession. Paul March saying he was looking for a big improvement from his side after the disappointment of losing at Batley last weekend when they really didn't play to their potential.
Move! Wait.
But at the moment they're trailing 6-0.
3. Move!
Helm
Hold there, hold.
A former Dewsbury player, like quite a number of this Hunslet side, spent time at Tetley Stadium. Keir once more. I beg your pardon, it's hockey.
Release. Go. Play to the ball. Play to the ball. Back here, back here, back here.
Well, is it Austin Buchanan? He has made a play for this ball, says referee Tim Roby.
Time off.
So he just gets out from dummy half. He's marking the play.
Just keep working back to the line here. Heads in.
As you can see from the trouble that cameramen are having, the wind is really gusting round here, rattling the commentary box, as Stuart Kane has lost that ball and he cannot believe that decision.
Listen, he's holding him in.
Stuart Kane's got control of this ball until he tries to play it.
Time off.
Dewsbury all over him.
Just wait for it.
I think he's unlucky with that penalty.
Just over 10. Heads in.
Just look at the wind. That flag's about to blow off.
So. One. Move.
No, just on Ben
Hold,
Bolger, I
hold.
was talking to Brian Mack in the week about him, who had him at the Quins, and said he was so impressed with the attitude of him. He was so hard working that he had no doubt he would make a career for himself in rugby league just on sheer determination alone. He's making his way with the Dewsbury club. Doesn't look out of place and is one of the better players for Dewsbury.
Penalty goes the way of the Dewsbury Rams.
You're in there too long. Whoa.
And Paul March didn't like something that happened there with James Walker suggesting that there was a hand in his face.
Come here then. George, come here.
Well, there you can see Walker. March puts him to ground.
Listen, Will, come here.
That's 6 and 2 threes. That they're all over each other's heads.
No, I want him. David!
March has his arm around the neck.
I want the captain.
Walker, who's not allowed, I'm not saying he's allowed to retaliate,
We'll do it properly.
but it's definitely 6 and 2 threes.
Well, what's the complaint? Who it is, if you know? Complaint is gouging. Do you know who it is?
Well, the referee is listening to what the March twins have said. A complaint involving an incident there, and it has gone on report.
Well, I've never known Paul March complain about anything, so he's obviously took exception. Something that James Walker's done in that tackle. But we'll leave it up to the RFL and disciplinary, Bill.
One. Move! Hold, go.
As it is, Dewsbury ahead by 6 points to 0 here in a Aidan Farl now in possession. Off the bench for the Rams.
2. Move!
Former Hunslet player Aidan Farl.
Lock in, hold, go. He's okay. 3.
Lockwood,
Move!
scorer of the only try so far in the first half hour.
Go, well done.
Here at South Leeds Stadium. A dimly lit
4.
South Leeds Stadium, if
Go.
you're wondering.
20
The
off, 20!
floodlights having, or partially, failed just a few moments ago.
5. Move!
That's the 5th
Went
tackle.
down. Go.
Cross field kick from Dominic Brambani. It's well taken
Move!
by Ratcliffe.
Hold, go.
That was a superb catch from Danny Radcliffe. Timed his leap
Move!
to perfection.
2.
Jumps up,
Knockers
leaps
are
like
off.
a salmon, pouches the ball, takes it to ground.
And then Dewsbury are penalised, not standing square.
1.
And Ratcliffe it is who'll thump this ball downfield. For a moment it looked as though that wasn't going to find touch. That's certainly the way the Dewsbury players were thinking about it.
Okay, come on.
All over the place there.
Well, you can see just the speed of which Elliot Kay played that ball. They just couldn't get set at marker
1.
for Richie Barnett to exploit that.
Hold, hands out, go.
Do you know, he's made a difference
2.
since he come on. He's running from depth,
Back
running
here,
hard,
Luke.
and all his teammates are following suit as well.
Here's Chapman now. Evergreen Richard Chapman, but the ball has again been spilled and it's been picked up by the Rams.
0.
Well, it's Joe Helm. I'm not so sure whether he was expecting this. Just come up with a decent run. It was a poor pass for the big man to take.
1.
Austin Buchanan
Move!
ducks
Hold,
under the
hold,
swinging
go.
challenge from a clearly frustrated Joe Helm.
2. Release!
Wainwright is tackled.
Come on, go.
Richard Chapman pushing his luck there. Chapman, who was thinking of retiring at the end of the last season. He's 35 years of age, but fancied another crack at it and fancies going next year when he'll have done 20 years
Marcus, hold.
in the semi-pro or pro ranks. Here's Walker now.
He's a real character, Richard Chapman. Actually works on the bins, and he's on the bin truck that collects the rubbish at Headingley.
Little chip kick ahead, but it's well dealt with. And then it's stolen by Bram Barney. What great piece of pocket picking there by Don Bram Barney.
Get your hands out. Go.
And it gives Dewsbury another opportunity here.
Stolen.
And that ball was ripped out in the tackle as Elliot Cosgrove was trying to get to the try line.
Well, Hunslet stripping the ball illegally, but what a play from Bram Barney. I think it's Paul March that strips that ball. Well, have a look at this. Comes up with the kick, he follows it up. Look at that for awareness. Fantastic play, very intelligent.
It was Chapman who had his pocket picked. And then the penalty gives Bram Barney another opportunity to add 2 more points. Successful with his last kick.
David, on the line.
So just about head on to the sticks, or slightly to the right of the posts. And Bram Barney coolly slots that to extend the Dewsbury Rams lead. 8-0 they lead in the gloom here in South Leeds, and Rod Studd can shed some light on the situation.
Yeah, well, not literally, Bill, unfortunately, but I've probably got a torch in my pocket, which may help. Not as bad as Hull KR was last weekend, got to say that, Bill. It's just the stand lights here that are shining out onto the pitch that aren't working. So we are in the gloaming, but it is playable. That's the view of the RFL anyway, and of stadium officials, and both teams happy to carry on playing out there. And I have to say, from the sideline, Bill, I can see you there over the far side of the field. I can see the other side of the pitch. It's just the middle part of the pitch and the near side, around about the halfway line, 10 metres either side, that's a little bit dark. I think it's playable, to be honest, and that's certainly the view of the RFL. On we go.
We do, with Dewsbury Rams leading by 8 points to 0. Of course, this is a local authority stadium. Time's tight for local authorities. They've probably cut the power, save on some light bulbs. We're all in this together.
2. Move.
Well, Hunslet now.
Hold. Go,
Just over 4 minutes left to go before half-time. There's the mistake from Dewsbury, but they need to keep the focus. They need to keep the concentration, because they cannot concede another try or any more points before half-time.
It's Luke Menzies who comes up with the error. It hits his chest first. He's bobbling around. What can Hunslet do with a bit of decent field position?
And just in the last 5 minutes before the break, great opportunity for them here then. Kane will get to his feet and play the ball eventually. Paul March. Helm bounces off the first challenge. He's been a willing worker since he came on the field, Joe Helm. And Chapman guides his side down the short side. Oh, and
Ball steal.
that ball was stolen. And it'll be a penalty. And Paul March is a very, very fired up player coach. David Marsh takes the tap, and the referee Tim Roby just urging the Hunslet Hawks player coach to calm down. There is Chapman, and Chapman. Short pass. And they're in the corner. And it's Tom Hockey, I think, who's got that ball down. It is the Irish international. And the penalty cost Dewsbury Rams dear.
10 metres.
And the Hofmeister, as Tom Hockey is known to the Hunslet Hawks supporters, powers his way over there and gets the try that Hunslet had been threatening.
Well, let's just have a look at the sequence of penalties. There's the ball steal. March with the ball. Richard Chapman spots Tommy Hockey. One-on-one. Power. He gives him the big see you later into the chest. Keeps his legs pumping. Raises the ball over the challenge of Dewsbury. And that's Hunslet. First meat pie of the night. Super work. Super work from Tommy Hockey.
very experienced player. Had a great debut season for Hunslet last season, got 13 tries. Tom Hockey. Now then, Danny Ratcliffe, already 19 goals to his name this season, but has missed that one. But just before half-time, the Hawks are on the scoreboard. Hunslet 4, Dewsbury 8 here at the South Leeds Stadium in the Championship.
Well, Tom Hockey, a very, very hard man to stop, but Ben Bolger, the man in the skull cap, he was defending sideways. He didn't move forward on big Tommy Hockey, and that made it easy for the back row to score the try.
Two sides who know all about winning. That's gone out on the full. Hunslet have won 12 of their last 16, going back to last June, and Dewsbury have won 9 of the last 11 games, so they say winning is a habit.
Well, Hunslet with more than a minute left. It takes roughly 60 seconds for a set of 6. They've got round about 45 from now.
Can they draw level or even get their noses in front in the seconds remaining here? The crowd on the far side of the ground in the murk cheering them on, but Hunslet have spilled the ball, and Rob Spicer has come up with it for the Dewsbury Rams. And Dewsbury will look to see out the final seconds here. They get the penalty as well. I don't know how long Tim Roby's going to put up with this, because there's a lot of messing around going on at the play the ball, skullduggery of all sorts. And that penalty hasn't found touch. Yes, it has. Flag is up, hooter sounds, but we'll just get the
No, it's a penalty, it's a penalty.
last action of the game.
No, wait, is it a scrum? It's already touched, so inside.
And the referee, Tim Roby, calls a halt to proceedings. Warren Jowett heads for the dressing rooms. Probably not too impressed by what he saw from his side, but they lead at least. A scrappy first half here in difficult conditions, in gloomy conditions as well. But as far as the Dewsbury Rams go, it's a positive situation at half-time. And David March, the Hunslet Hawks captain, hoping to put the lights out for the Dewsbury Rams in the second half. There's Tom Hockey, try scorer so far for the Hawks. And it'll be
Can you hear me, lads?
Hunslet who'll get the second half underway. Dewsbury very much having the upper hand recently against the Hawks. They've won the last 5 and have won 22 of 29 against Hunslet since 1996. But this one close to call. It's who handles these blustery conditions the best in this second half. Hunslet get us underway.
Move! It's work here, lads. Hold.
Well, I'm sure that the captain, David March for Hunslet, will be saying to his players, and you can see him addressing his players just as the teams were leaving the pitch at half-time. Look, Dewsbury have threw absolutely everything us. We've made a lot more tackles than them, yet we're still in this game. We're only 4 points behind. Let's just make sure we complete these sets, and you can see Dewsbury starting off this second half exactly the way they played the game in the first half, taking Hunslet up round the middle of the park.
Big James Walker on the charge again, barrelling forward.
5.
That's the 5th tackle.
No early's hold.
And expect this one to go high again from Brambani. That it does. But this time it's sailing out of play until Buchanan pats it back in, and it's well dealt with.
Austin Buchanan can't afford to let that ball bounce. There's no play in it. He needs to get it back to one of his teammates. And Dewsbury have come out really fired up, really determined, taking Hunslet on around the middle, strong and direct. It worked really well for them in the first half.
4. Move! Wait. Go.
4 tackles gone. Up to the halfway line with the Hunslet Hawks.
Move on! No early's here, hold. Go.
Kick drilled downfield by Paul March and fielded by Ryan Glynn. Well, Rod Studd is over there in the gloom of the far side of the stadium.
Go. Well done.
And he's got the half-time news.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. Just on the lights first, both coaches pretty philosophical about that, saying, look, that's life, it's just tough, we're just going to have to get on with it. And I think what we're going to see in this second half is what Steve-O would call good basic rugby league football, judging on the coaches' comments, because Warren Jowett, happy with what's happened so far from his Dewsbury Rams team, wants them to stick to the structure and keep to the basics. And for Hunslet, believe it or not, that kick there from Paul March was only the 4th time they're telling me that they've got to a completed set and a kick, and they want to just keep doing that, get to completed sets and make sure they turn the ball over on their terms. So don't expect helter-skelter Harlem Globetrotter stuff. They're going to grind it out, Bill.
And that ball is hoisted, and Stuart Kane got it at the 2nd, 3rd, was it the 4th attempt, I think? But he did well, because a wicked kick from Brambani.
Well, that was a good effort from Stuart Kane. That ball was swirling everywhere, and he was under an awful lot of pressure from Rob Spicer. The outside backs now for Hunslet coming in, trying to generate a bit of speed around the ruck area, trying to get the big Dewsbury forwards, moving them laterally, seeing if there's any space around the middle of the park.
Former Cardiff Demon Elliot Keir has shown up really well this evening, on loan from Crusaders at the moment, the 22-year-old.
Clear.
And that's a good kick, which Austin Buchanan is going to have to return. Running across the field at the moment, looking to straighten up now, runs into Paul March.
Well, that is a decent kick, and it's also a decent chase as well. I definitely can see the confidence that this side have got, and you can hear the shouts of body language. Let's make sure that we're strong, not show any signs of weakness.
Move! Marcus!
Wainwright with the strong run.
4.
Now Walker.
Get square!
Two very different approaches there from Walker and Wainwright. Two very different physical specimens. Here's Rob Spicer still running strongly.
5.
Just watch Luke Blake, the Dewsbury Rams number 9. He's directing his big players at the spot defenders. They've targeted and they want to get up.
Brambani's kick, though, not the best this time, straight into the arms of Stuart Kane.
God, it's okay.
Brambani it was who was chasing as Ratcliffe brings the ball back.
Bill, David March, who's the captain for this Hunslet side, will know if they're going to take you on around the middle of the park, you can afford to have your wingers, your centres defending really tight, condense that line, because if you're going to try and get numbers in, slow down the Dewsbury side, you're going to have slow retreaters, therefore you don't want to be caught out on the tight 3 defenders either side of the ruck area.
It's a good kick from Chapman. It was an inviting one, but nobody seemed to be too enthusiastic about chasing it. Wainwright enthusiastic about trying to get to his feet there. Couldn't do so.
Richard Chapman just popping out from dummy half, kicking the ball. Possibly one of the best options. Everybody's onside, but there was little to no enthusiasm to chase it from Hunslet. They've done a lot of defending, up to 175 tackles already.
That's a good break from Blake now. Blake, has he got some support? He has, and Brambani's put it down. Golden opportunity, first real clear break. It was Tom Wandless, I beg your pardon, who was in support, and it was Wandless who couldn't take the pass.
Well, this was a good run from Luke Blake. He saw that there was a gap around the ruck area, and Tom Wandless, look at that. They were too wide at the ruck. That's exactly what I was saying. He exploits that, and Wandless, he was just having a little look up. He saw Stuart Kane, and there's the frustration from the Dewsbury coaching staff.
Tom Wandless, who lost out to Jordan Tansey when he had his brief spell at Dewsbury Rams, but is back in the side, Wandless, with Tansey's departure to the Crusaders. Here's Richie Barnett.
Hold. Go.
Now it's with Steve Dula. Dula's pass goes to ground, and everybody stood and looked at that for a moment.
Well, Steve Dula's a solid performer. He's had a miserable night so far.
3. Move. Hold.
Helm plays the ball. Here's Tom Hockey now, and Hockey, well, that ball ricocheted.
That's 4.
Referee says play on. Hockey saying that there was a Dewsbury hand in there. That was the reason for the ricochet. Referee didn't see anything. The tackle count continues.
5. Release. Go.
Chapman now.
Clear.
March with a kick. Paul, that is. And Buchanan looking to go on the outside and does well, gets around the challenge of Ratcliffe, but is then hounded down by Elliot Keir.
Lovely dancing feet from Austin Buchanan. He's one of the real danger players on either side. Perhaps want to get the ball in his hands a little bit more.
Luke Menzies gets to his feet to play the ball. Blake, change of direction. Spicer once more. This time doesn't make the same sort of progress he has been doing because of the tackle from Elliot Keir. He is everywhere at the moment, the Welsh international.
5, move! Hold there, boys, hold.
That's the fifth tackle, just inside the Hunslet half, and Brambani hoists the kick, and it's his first poor kick of the night. Then ricochets, bounces forward, picked up by Kane.
Move this line.
Well, that was a poor kick from Brambani. I think he was looking for a bit of distance, trying to get it, land it on the 20, but the ball didn't go anywhere, straight up in the air, and that was easy for Stuart Kane.
That was 2. 3. Move! Go, go, go.
Off goes Kane, dumps the ball out the back door. And now Joe Helm. Helm tackled on the 40-metre line.
Hold. Go.
Now Hockey.
5.
Timed his run onto that pass well. That's the fifth tackle. Keir, little chip and chase. He was taken out, was he? The referee saw nothing wrong with it.
A lot of his teammates were thinking that he was going to kick that ball to the left. Elliot Keir obviously had different ideas. He looked up, he played what was in front of him, and he spotted that there was a gap. The offload by Wainwright, I'm not sure that one was on.
2. Move!
Here's the kick from Keir. He went down.
Hold. Go.
Well, this probably won't go down as one of the championship classics, not unless things perk up in the last half hour or so. But the championship does have quite a following. Among them, believe it or not, the England cricketer, spin bowler, and general character, Graham Swan. And he's a regular watcher of the championship, as is Johnny Vegas, and they're both supporting a new rugby league scheme, Kids Go Free, which launches next month, April the 14th to the 25th. And kids under the age of 16, accompanied by an adult, can get into championship games free of charge during that period. A great initiative from the RFL, one supported by the likes of Graham Swan and Johnny Vegas. That's April the 14th to the 25th. And under 16, take your kids along to a game. You'll have to pay though.
It's a fantastic scheme, and opening up the game to as many youngsters as we can, exposing the game, and it is fantastic when you go out there, and it gives a lot of people a lot of opportunities. And these lads have got the opportunity. They're playing in front of the Sky cameras.
Wait.
We do bemoan the lack of opportunities for our young players. There's no platform for them to show their skills. There's another error there. Joe Helm pleading with the referee, and then gives a penalty away. That's a real shame.
Well, no, the penalty's gone in favour of Dewsbury. In favour of Hunslet, rather. Dewsbury penalised for that.
James Lockwood rubs him on the head.
Well, that's exactly why the penalty was awarded.
He's very frustrated. There is an arm locked in there somewhere. But this game, you know, Bill, it had a lot to build up to. There's the push and shove. It's been a fantastic day for Widnes. I'm delighted to see them back in Super League. Everybody's done a tremendous job, and I'm sure the fans will get behind the town and look forward to next year. But back onto this game, I'm sure it's going to kick into gear. We've had 50 minutes of stalemate so far, with neither one of the teams putting their stamp on it.
Well, can Hunslet put their stamp on it now? They're in possession as a result of that penalty.
That's 3.
Kane. It's Hunslet, who have lost the ball, and the referee waves play on. It's another error, and Steve Dooler it was, I think, and Dooler complaining that ball was stolen. That about sums up this game, really.
Well, we were saying to the referee there was 3 Dewsbury defenders in attendance. You can see, is there an arm? Is there an arm there? Is it Folger? Yes. It was on the blind side of the referee. I think it was Menzies who's got the ball in his hand, who stripped that pass.
Wainwright trying to burst through the Hunslet defence, but they were there to greet him. Rob Kelly making the tackle.
Help!
bit of frustration creeping into the Hunslet game now, because they haven't done themselves justice so far this evening. Too many errors.
No, you stand up.
Hunslet appealing for a penalty. Dewsbury appealing for a penalty that time. Here's Blake.
He's done that a few times tonight. James Lockwood, a really, really sharp angle back in at the ruck, and it's a mess again at the play of the ball. A one-on-one steal with a knock-on, and Dewsbury get head and feed. Blake it is, just turning and twisting, and then Elliot Keir knocks the ball while he's trying to strip it.
Right, come forward.
Just a little bit messy this game now. There's the knock-on.
One, move, hold, go.
Dewsbury's head and feed. They have possession now in this set of 6. Can one of these sides put together a period of fluent play?
3, move, Richard.
A completed set of 6 is a rarity at the moment. Here's Spicer again, always willing, always looking for the pass. Rob Spicer. Hunslet always looking for him now. Blake sets off on his own, gets past the first challenge of Houston, but is then tackled by Dula. The kick, it's a better one from Brambani, and it's Buchanan who's got a hold of it. Has he? No.
Move, back here, lads, back here.
Well, they give
Ratcliffe, I think, who came up with the ball. Did well there, the winger.
Well, he did do well, but Austin Buchanan giving himself a chance.
Move, Marcus Hall.
You can see just concentrating on that ball, but Ratcliffe underneath, concentrated. He was the one who come up trumps. But the speed of the line from Dewsbury now. Look at that, getting off the line and not making many metres. And you've got to say, looking at Hunslet, he's sometimes looking to play outside of this Dewsbury outfit.
Was that a 40-20 attempt? I think it possibly was from March. Paul, that was, but didn't come to anything.
Bill, I think that was just get the ball away from our try line. We're not making any yards. We're not making any decent metres with the ball. We're getting it up the other end of the park and back ourselves in defence.
Michael Wainwright in possession for Dewsbury. Massive experience from Leeds, Castleford, Wakefield during his career.
Move on.
Kyle Bibbs back on the field for Dewsbury, like a battering ram in them opening 20 minutes.
Dominant.
4 tackles gone.
Stand. Hold. Go. 4.
Wandless. Here is Kyle Bibb.
5.
That's the 5th tackle.
Move. Wait. Go.
Now then, is Brambani going to hoist this one again? Yes, he is. Maybe a little bit too deep, but it's going to cause problems, that's for sure. Now then, can Buchanan get on the end of it? He will do. Or is it going to be a video ref decision? Buchanan got on the end of it in the end, but great work. And was it Aidan Farl who got there to help out?
Well, I think this is a try. Aidan Farl does ever so well. He doesn't give up on this ball. You can see the kick from Brambani. They're all onside.
He's onside, Tez.
Everyone's onside, and you can just see it causes havoc at the back between Kane and between Ratcliffe. The ball bounces. Who's chasing up? Aidan Farl, and he knows that if he takes that ball, he's going dead, and he pats it back to Austin Buchanan for what I do think is a try.
Is he in the field of play? He's let go of it before. He's still in the field of play when he comes down initially.
Do you know, that's outstanding skill. I saw Greg Inglis do it in his State of Origin match. Perhaps not.
We're waiting for the decision from video referee Ian Smith. It is the try. Tim Roby awards it. Well, one of you guys said we're not going to see any Harlem Globetrotter stuff, but that wasn't far off it from Aidan Farl. Austin Buchanan gets the try to his name, but Aidan Farl, the creator, with some inspired work there. A former Hunslet player, and now Brambani with the conversion. A difficult one from the sideline, but the wind might just help him on this occasion, blowing across the field. He'll look to set it out away from the posts and bring it back in to extend the Dewsbury Rams lead. Amazed that the ball stays on the kicking tee in these conditions. Brambani has missed with that one. Sails way out over the running track here at South Leeds Stadium, but Dewsbury ahead by 14 points to 4.
Well, every time the ball goes up into the air, you've got to make it into a contest. And that's exactly what Dewsbury did. Brambani, that is a fantastic kick. He splits the winger, he splits the fullback, they come together. But Aidan Fowl, that is a big, big play for Austin Buchanan to score this try. Both of the Dewsbury players, they don't give up. Austin Buchanan placed himself in perfect position. I say he'll be happy with that, Buchanan.
One, move, hands up.
I thought you made a good point at half-time, Tez. You're talking about the wingers and the players who are in charge of catching those high bombs like that. It's a very difficult skill, and Danny Radcliffe was fully committed. He jumped up high, but possibly in that second that he's in the air, the ball bobbles and comes away from his grasp and away from his target. But that is outstanding skill from Aidan Fowl.
So that's given Dewsbury some breathing space. They lead by 12 points to 4. There is Aidan Fowl, once of Leeds Academy and Hunslet.
Okay, lads, keep it
Aidan Fowl, in,
as you've been doing, boys, keep it going.
whose handling
That's it.
has created that try, but then the handling of Elliot Cosgrove lets Dewsbury down.
Well, just a mistake. What can Hunslet create now?
Go.
Can they get a decent go forward to play off the back of? We know that they've got the players. There's no point just passing the ball for passing its sake.
Go.
Earn the right to play, make big inroads. That's a good run.
Move.
John Oakes it was, plays the ball. Another former Dewsbury player out there for the Hunslet Hawks.
Go.
Danny Grimshaw,
Release.
once of York. That's another common denominator in this this game, the number of ex-York players out there. Buchanan underneath that kick, he let that one bounce. Why? And then he gets a second chance to put it dead.
Just check it, please. Check who the touch has come off.
I think Austin's making the motion there. Give me some talk. He wasn't sure whether one of his other players was committed to catching that. How many players he had coming along. There you go. There's 2 players within the vicinity. Austin tries to kick it.
Well, Tim Roby has actually asked the video ref to see who gets a touch to that.
Scrum.
Well, it's not. It's definitely not a try.
Scrum in here, lads. Scrum.
And he said it's going to be scrum, head and feed
Dewsbury ball.
to the Dewsbury Rams.
I think it's Ratcliffe that, I think it's saying that Ratcliffe knocks this ball forward. You can see the Buchanan, he loses track of where it is, and there it is where Ratcliffe goes to pick the ball up. He loses it, knocks the ball forward.
Don't think he knew a lot about that. I think Buchanan kicked it towards him, but again, another scrappy episode in what has been a pretty scrappy game.
2.
Well, when Ratcliffe done everything right, then he chased up the ball, he put pressure on Buchanan, who lost it. Unfortunately for Ratcliffe and unfortunately for Hunslet, he lost focus of exactly where that ball was.
Dominant, cries the referee at that tackle on Carl Bibb, and it was dominant. That's good work from Blake, and Blake has got support, but he's run away from it at the moment. He's gone into the middle of the field. Play on, says the referee, but Blake is then tackled.
Well, Luke Blake again splitting Hunslet around the ruck area.
And Blake is injured in that tackle.
Yeah, Rob Kelly picked him up, tried to flip him onto his back.
Let's get set with
May
me,
have
boys.
just hurt and tweaked his neck. But it was a tremendous tremendous break from Blake. Try saying that again.
Brambani looking to burst through.
Release.
That's the 5th tackle. This time it's a chip kick, and it's well taken, and Buchanan in for his second, and Aidan Fowl celebrates again with him, and no doubt about that one, no need to go to the video ref. And once again the kicking game undoes the Hunslet Hawks. The previous one was way up in the skies. This one was a delicate chip over the top, weighted to perfection, and Austin Buchanan knew exactly what was coming, and he gets his second try of the night.
Well, Luke Blake is cutting Hunslet apart in this second half. They're not tight enough around that ruck area, and his awareness from dummy half is what's creating an awful lot of problems for Hunslet. But look at that, that is a fantastic kick from Tom Wanless. He knew that he had to take control for this set of 6 and for this try, because Dominic Brambani, who's been kicking on like was playing the ball, it was the last tackle, and that was a good read by Austin Buchanan, the wingman. He jumps higher than his opposite Ratcliffe, and he scores the try for Dewsbury in the corner.
Third double of the season already for Austin Buchanan. So in a rich vein of form. Brambani, can he get this one on target? He's missed again, but his side edging ahead in this game. 16-4 they lead now. It was 8-4 to the Rams at half-time, and beginning to take a grip on the game.
Well, Austin Buchanan's tries are like buses. He waits an hour for one and gets 2 at the same time. He showed a lot of discipline to stay on side, and I wonder how much residue Danny Radcliffe had from that last try. He only jumped probably the width and height of a phone book, frightened that that ball might bobble in mid-air again.
No, you surrendered. Go.
Dewsbury looking to bounce back after a bit of a break. Had the weekend off last week.
Move! Keep working, boys.
While Hunslet were in action and losing at Batley. So Hunslet heading for back-to-back defeats here, having started off the season so well, newly promoted. It's Brambani, and Spicer hit that one, and again he was looking for the hole. Play on, says the referee. Spicer wasn't tackled. Doolan thought he'd done the job, but Spicer made another couple of metres. It's Brambani again. Once more the kick. This one's too strong, and it goes well dead from the Dewsbury Rams captain. The coach not impressed. Coming up next Thursday, Lee against Widnes, the Northern Rail Cup quarter-final, and that's on Sky Sports 4 from 7:30.
Well, Rob Spicer on this left-hand edge has had a superb game. And you feel that Hunslet, although they've got plenty of endeavour, they haven't too much structure. And that's play on, they've lost the ball again.
I'm not so sure. I think that ball was stripped from Luke Blake, who's the Dewsbury hooker.
Well, sorry, David March, though, who was the victim, he felt, of a ball steal, has said something to referee Roby, shake of the head.
Well, I agree with March, and there's the steal.
I think
Tim Roby in a perfect position to see that.
It is a steal, Tez, but I can't help thinking that those two have cried wolf all night. They've been in the ear of the official, they've been shouting at linesmen, they've been shouting at referees, and maybe sometimes referees are human.
Surrender! One.
So Wainwright takes the tackle. The penalty could prove expensive.
2. Move! Hands out!
Right underneath those posts. Hunslet defending desperately.
3.
3 tackles gone.
Line. Go. That's 3.
Bolger. Brambani, short pass.
4. Move! Hold. Go 4.
Kyle Bibb plays the ball. Back on the inside to Spicer. Spicer has threatened, but he's lost that ball, I think, over the line. The referee's going to go to the video ref.
I think this is a try.
Did they lose this ball forward?
No.
And then does Aidan Fowle get the ball and ground it for the try for Dewsbury? Is it stripped?
I think it's probably stripped. There you go, there's the hands, palms facing outwards. Does it go in a backwards motion? I'd probably say yes. Does Aidan Fowle pick it up cleanly? There's a few bodies in the way there, but I'd have to say, first time I saw it, I thought it was a try. Rob Spicer has run hard and strong all night, keeps moving, keep turning, that ball stripped. Aidan Fowle picks it up and puts it down for another meat pie.
Ian Smith is the video ref. It's his decision that Tim Roby is waiting for. And the try is awarded, and that just rubs salt in the Hunslet Hawks' wounds as they troop dejectedly back towards their own try line. And Aidan Fowle, who had a hand in creating Austin Buchanan's first try of the night, has got his own, and really aware of the situation there. And the player with Dutch African origins, Aidan Fowle, very proud of his Dutch African heritage. Well, Johnny on the spot for the Dewsbury Rams here.
Well, if Hunslet would have concentrated more on just holding Rob Spicer up instead of stripping the ball, this try would never have been scored. You can see Rob Spicer, that's a good line from Spicer, but March it is that strips that pass. Unfortunately for him and his Hunslet teammates, Aidan Fowle was in the right place at the right time to score the try.
Which Brambani converts, and now Dewsbury Rams in control of this game. 22 points to 4, they lead. They've dominated the second half. 2 tries for Austin Buchanan and now 1 from Aidan Fowle. Once a Hunslet player, and like Buchanan, once a Leeds Academy player as well.
I think Warren Joe will be pleased with the way that his team has stuck to the task, ran hard and strong and direct. And there's an error from the kickoff.
Ben Bolger trying to salvage the situation, that ball heading into touch.
He had to have a crack at that, Bill. It's travelling him, thundering towards him, although...
15 to go, lads, mate.
Yeah, 15. He had to have a crack at that. If it goes out, it's head and feet anyway.
So can Hunslet conjure up a comeback in the last 15 minutes here? They're going to have to, first of all, they're going to have to keep a hold of the ball.
Move. Discipline, lads, hold.
And they're probably going to have to be a bit more expansive. They're going to have to keep their tempers as well. They're getting very frustrated, the Hawks.
Well, they can't be predictable. Dewsbury have won this game simply because they've took the ball and they've run harder than Dewsbury have defended, but they've just played it simple, Dewsbury. Hunslet looking to go wide before they've gone forward. That was a better run from Rob Kelly.
Good strong run from Kelly. For a moment I thought he'd fumbled that ball as he went to play it. Grimshaw now. Ball comes out wide to Richie Barnett. Barnett trying to straighten things up.
Move.
Great strike rate in his Super League days, Richie Barnett.
Good shot.
Good defence though, and that's the turnover. It was on the last.
Brambini putting a shot on there, come right out, put the shoulder in. He's had an excellent game with the boot. Look at that.
One, move.
Wooshka.
Hold. Go, don't flop, Danny.
Here's Kyle Bibb.
Move. Knockers, go.
Kelly with the tackle. They've run strongly tonight, have the Dewsbury Rams. Especially Wainwright there playing the ball. Here's Ben Bolger.
Well, you spotted it in the warm-up, Bill. They had all the tackle shields out, everything was tight, close, recognising that it were very windy and very difficult for the long passes, and they just played the conditions a lot better than Hunslet.
Ratcliffe collects that ball. But there's a Dewsbury Rams reception committee there to meet him.
Go. He's shot on it. 2. Move.
So Dewsbury aiming for back-to-back wins. They beat Toulouse 35 points to 6 in their previous game. An impressive performance that, given that Toulouse went into it having beaten Halifax in their previous game. Now then, here come Hunslet Hawks on the charge, and this is an opportunity for Elliot Keir, and Keir going across the field, then linking up with Luke Haig, and Haig has lost the ball on the line.
0.
Well, that has showed a commitment to defend for Dewsbury. Elliot Keir thought that he was in for the try, and that was a fantastic break from Hunslet. And it shows that the confidence that they do have, but they just couldn't get there to score that try in the corner.
Here is Aidan Fowle now.
Hunslet must be thinking to themselves, what do we have to do to score a try in this second half? They break the line and Dewsbury flood towards the threat.
Here goes Ryan Glynn.
Move, Dan. For the hold.
Brambani, Ben Bolger.
5.
Essex-born Ben Bolger and Chingford.
Hold. Go.
And here he is playing his rugby league in Dewsbury. Little chip kick ahead. Wandless was chasing it, but it's well dealt with by John Oates.
Go.
Oates plays the ball. Urgency now from Hunslet Hawks.
But you can see all the Dewsbury players pushing forward in that whole set of 6. They were all offering themselves as a lead runner. Could this be a penalty?
Kane, and that was high on the Hunslet Hawks fullback.
Kyle Bibb lifting a leg as well. You're not allowed to do that. He makes contact with Kane, and there you see it. There's the leg lift. That's what makes players, fans all nervous. Here's the break. Fantastic commitment. And you think to yourself, Elliot Keir's going to get there. Can I get there? Find a defender. Holy moly.
Move! Hold. Go.
Here's Paul March now. And now John Oakes. Barnett picks up the loose ball and the referee says it's back to 1.
Well, they were lucky to get away with that then, John Oakes. He comes up with the blind offload, just threw it out the back as he was going into the tackle.
3. Move!
Here you can see, as he's going down, the big man just offloads that, flicks it anywhere.
That was 3.
And just a word for one of the Hunslet players, Steve Dool has done 38 tackles tonight. Hasn't had a great night with the ball in hand, but he's certainly worked hard in defence. 251 tackles Hunslet at the minute.
Here's Elliot Keir again. Hunslet hoping that maybe they can at least salvage a bonus point here, that they need a try and a goal to do that. Could they be in with Chapman, and Chapman trying to force his way over the line, but he is well and truly held up there.
Well, good defence from Dewsbury. The threat was Chapman, but you can see that is good play by Ryan Glynn, the Dewsbury fullback.
It was on the last, that'll be the turnover.
On the 10. Richard, get off him, let him get to the 10.
Well, can they lift themselves in this set of 6? The challenge is down. They know exactly where they're going to be targeted now in this set of 6.
1. Move! Hold! Go.
Buchanan, 2 tries to his name in this second half. Plays the ball.
2. Move!
Wainwright, his opposite number, hasn't got on the scoreboard, but has got through a mountain of work.
Well, again, Bill, that's poor play by Hunslet. They're not tight enough around the ruck area. 33 metres coming away from their own line. Austin Buchanan bouncing off players.
4. Move! Paul on zone!
Buchanan took a bang there as he went down. Somebody landed very heavily on him and he's back down on all 4s.
5. Move, Paul!
Luke Menzies. There is Austin Buchanan. 2 tries in this second half. And again the ball's gone high in the sky from the boot of Brambani, and again it's Kane underneath it, and he positioned himself well and made certain of that one.
Oh, courage from Stuart Kane in the back. He knew that he was under pressure. Knew that he was the one who had to get that ball, otherwise it would have been again a certain try.
3. Move! Go on 10. Hold.
Stuart Kane, one of several players out there who've been over to Australia to get a bit more experience. He went and played for West Magpies.
Move!
His opposite number, Ryan Glynn, in fact, just back from spell playing in Australia.
5. Release! Go.
Nice to be young and single, able to travel the world as that ball goes high in the sky. Oh, and it goes backwards, says the referee from Ryan Glynn. Well, that was possibly a generous interpretation from Mr. Roby.
Oh, that was the correct call by Tim Roby. See Ryan Glynn, it just changes direction. Fortunately for him, it goes back, says the referee, Tim Roby.
Release! Go.
Everything's going Dewsbury's way in this second half, not least the scoreboard.
Hold. Go.
Well, that's what happens in rugby. When you're on the front foot, you're building confidence, you just make yards, you force that ball because the confidence is flowing through the team and everyone offers themselves as an option.
Here's Wandless, here is Spicer.
5.
That's the 5th tackle.
Paul, get your hands out.
Brambani arrives just in the nick of time. This time he drills the kick. Not played at, says the referee. Still on the last, and so Brambani just puts this kick neatly into the corner there. It's not a bad kick, but Kane there to retrieve it for Hunslet.
Well, some of these Hunslet players are disheartened now. It's been a bit of deja vu, bringing the ball away from their own line, confronted with a Dewsbury wall. And again, look at that, nobody pushing up, no one from Hunslet putting their arm up. Tell it left to Elliot Keir to bring the ball away.
Move! Go.
Great grunt from Joe Helm as he took that ball up and collided with the Dewsbury defenders.
And he has put his hand up all night, ever since his introduction from the bench. He's been a willing worker for Hunslet.
Go.
Kick drilled downfield. Ryan Glenn collects.
That's the difference, Bill, between the two sides. Whenever Stuart Kane, there's a mistake. And whenever the two sides catch the ball, as Hunslet give another penalty away, they're just desperately clinging on in this match, trying any way they can.
Keep it moving, Dom.
That's an illegal challenge from Richard Chapman.
This line.
The penalty count, certainly in this second half, has really hurt the Hunslet Hawks. It's given Dewsbury Rams a great platform to inflict some damage, to the extent that they lead here comfortably as the game heads to its conclusion. Dewsbury head for back-to-back victories.
But look at the depth, Bill. Look at the depth.
Look at the run from Rob
ball.
Spicer.
He went to the runner. Go, it's 2.
He's had a superb night, Spicer.
Plays the ball quickly.
3. Move,
Good run
hands
from
off.
Horton, takes him close to the try line.
Hold.
Brambani sizing up the situation for his side. Then it's not a great pass. It's well dealt with, in fact, by Wandless. Oh, and then the ball goes to ground from Bibb.
0.
Well, Wanless, I think that was just a touch too hard.
Go, 0.
Cosgrove, who cut underneath him, but he just couldn't take that ball in. Wanless done everything right. He's got the ball. He's skirting across the line.
No, you stand
And there
up,
it is.
stand
Just couldn't control it, Cosgrove.
up. Surrender. 2.
Elliot Cosgrove hoping to celebrate his birthday with a try today, but not to be.
3.
And the coach not impressed.
Keep working, hold. Go, it's 3. That was 3.
Another one who went to Australia, Cosgrove, played for North Sydney Bears in the New South Wales Cup competition.
Go.
Chapman. Here is Barnett, but Barnett
Dominant.
slithers to the ground. That's the 5th tackle
Hold.
into the last 5 minutes. Chapman still barking instructions at his teammate, even though the game is well beyond them.
1. Move. Marcus, look. Hold. Go.
Well, they've lost this game, Hunslet, but how are they going to finish? They can't just throw it away. The game has definitely gone, but can they get the bonus point? That's what they still should be working for. Can they get within 12 points of Dewsbury?
Hold.
Well, as it stands, this victory is going to take Dewsbury up to 3rd in the table. The dizzy heights of 3rd for Warren Jowett's men. If they get another try and a goal, they could go above Batley on points difference. How much delight they'd get from that. But they'd certainly settle for the points this evening to take them up to 3rd in the table. As Brambani drills the kick in, and that's a great touch finder from the Dewsbury Rams captain. His kicking game has been back to its best tonight.
He's had a platform to kick off. His forwards have been that dominant. They've been in control of this game, so it's easy. Look at that. No pressure on him. Gets it off the back of a quick play of the ball, and Ratcliffe had no option really but to let that ball go into touch.
He's a smart kicker, Brambini. The reason you see kickers kick from one side to the other, the fullback needs to stay where the ball is, and that's often why you see them kicking away from where you think they're going to kick.
Move. Hold.
Dewsbury have recovered well then after losing their opening game 28-0 to Batley. And funnily enough, those two meet in the Northern Rail quarter-finals on Sunday week it is. That should be some game. A heavy woolen derby in the quarter-finals. And Hunslet have a home tie against Featherstone Rovers. What a prospect that is for Paul March's men, but they're going to have to get their act together ahead of that game. They've just slightly lost their way. And of course, we've got the game between Lee and Widnes next Thursday here on Sky Sports as Hunslet get a penalty.
Yeah, correct decision. It was Aidan Fowle that ripped that ball from John Oakes. Can they finish with a try? Finish with a positive set of 6.
Here's another good run from Joe Helm. Can they get at least a bonus point for their efforts this evening?
But you see, when Joe Helm went there, Bill, there was no one who was pushing up in that next hole behind, in the next play.
Paul March, David March. And Paul March will pick up that pass. Willie went backwards. March still has it. And eventually he's knocked on. And the referee says head and feet to the Dewsbury Rams.
Yep. Well, they're trying everything now, just trying to get their arm free.
Oh, and then more yap from somebody. I wonder who that could be.
That's just poor.
The last day of March, and the March twins.
Well, you can be as frustrated as you like, but all that does is hurt your team. We know that both the March brothers are winners. They are real goers with the ball, without the ball. But unfortunately, you can't do that.
Here's Wandless now. Wandless just lost his footing into the last minute here then, and after a pretty even first 40, Dewsbury just edging that. It's been dominated, but definitely in the second half, by the Rams. All the scoring coming from this Dewsbury side. And they're going to go away with the 3 points tonight. Satisfactory evening for Warren Jarrett, although you wouldn't know it from the stern look on his face, because it hasn't been a faultless performance from his side, but he'll be satisfied with that. Back-to-back victories for his side. Chairman's satisfied, and the players will be satisfied, certainly with this second half. And disappointment for this Hunslet Hawks side. Back-to-back defeats for them after such a positive start to life in the championship, and never really threatened to take control of this game. They hung in there in the first half, that's for sure, but really second best in the second half. And it's Dewsbury Rams who've really